In 1976, my real job moved me here to Birmingham from Tennessee. And I was playing the organ at the Tennessee Theater in Knoxville. So I came here to see if they needed an organist. And they did. And I've been the organist here ever since. My group was involved here with just the organ. We were keeping the organ in good repair. And then the theater owners went bankrupt. Well, we were a single-minded group. We wanted to save the organ. If you take the organ out of the theater, it becomes just another big box of whistles. The only way that we could save the organ was to save the theater.
We were not theatrical people. I taught school. Cecil ran a hardware store. We've been associated with the theaters. Actual running, we didn't have that experience. So we were sort of like the Mickey Rooney, Judy Garland movies. Oh, there's an old theater downtown with an organ. I've got a sheet, let's do a show, and it worked.
The mission statement of Birmingham Landmarks, the owner and operator of the Alabama Theater, is to preserve, restore, and operate any historical building that is in danger of neglect or demolition. We also own what used to be called the Goldstein Building, and just across the street from the Alabama Theater is the Lyric Theater and Office Building. It was quite an extensive and beautiful theater. Milton Berle even said when he was interviewed that the Lyric Theater was just like walking onto the stage of a New York theater. And he said it was just admirable that a theater of that nature was built in the city of Birmingham. Now the theater will be redone, retrofitted, and restored, and made to be a major part of the new entertainment district in downtown Birmingham.
This is the main lobby, or what used to be the main lobby. It's going to be around a $10 million project to complete, and we're hoping to get started on the theater portion of the building pretty soon, actually. The city said they would help us a lot more if we would get it open just because of all the traffic that it will bring into the city.
That's the tough part, to get people on your team over there, because it's so hard. So many people are in love with the Alabama. They're afraid that by opening the Lyric, it might hurt the Alabama, which is not the case.
I grew up under the marquee of the Alabama, and I've been with the Alabama Theater on a volunteer basis since 1970. My grandfather came to this town in 1900 as a stone cutter, and he cut the marble and so forth for a lot of these buildings. I walk around, I get to see his handiwork.
Well, the theater is an expression of our heritage from the 20s, when building a facility like this was building something for everyone. So people could come into the theater and look around, and there's all different types of architecture. So no matter where your relatives are from, you can always find something in here that will kind of remind you of your background.
One night when we were having a show here, an elderly lady called and said that she had ridden downtown that day with her daughter and ridden by the Alabama, and she said, I just wanted to call and thank y'all for keeping the Alabama going. She said, I have so many fond memories of when I was growing up meeting my friends at the Alabama, and it makes you feel like you've done something to keep something going that people appreciate.
My father was from Birmingham, and he used to bring me when I was 10, 11, and 12. So to not have to put up with me, they would drop me here on Saturday morning. And I became in love with this theater way back then.
I love it just because there's so many different things that go on here. You know, when I tell people that I work at the Alabama Theater full time and they don't understand, and they go, what do you do when there's not a show going on? I'm like, well, we have an office to run.
We had the Rocky Horror Picture Show here one time that I thought might destroy the theater. The whole floor, bottom floor, was filled with popcorn and toilet paper and all the stuff they throw. And it just was trashed beyond belief.
A dance orchestra was playing here one night, and we hear this pow, and then you hear pieces of glass hitting the stage. Stuart Thompson, one of the guys that plays the organ got the broom and came out and very nonchalantly swept the glass off the stage, and the band kept playing.
When I first started working here, a lot of times I'd be the only one here by myself. And I'd put a tape of the Carpenters in on the sound system, and I'd go sit in the front row center of the dress circle, and I'd turn it way up, and I'd just sit up there and sing at the top of my lungs because I knew nobody could hear me.
It's a real close-knit kind of family environment here at the theater, especially with a lot of the volunteers.
I have great relationships with the people who work here. Cecil, of course, I've been with him for 15 years. Anthony, he's a good friend of mine. Bill Hampton, who's been here as long as I've been here. He started out as a volunteer. We're all just real good friends.
I would think that the people that work here are what I call my theater family. And they've all been with me for a lot of years. When they all have a personal disaster, we always gather around and help them out. So we work together as a family, which means we're a really good team.
If you have a passion for what you're doing, you can accomplish anything. I thoroughly believe that. And I think we're pretty well a story of that. A bunch of people that have had a passion to save this theater. We have a lot of night and sweat equity in it. And we're basically seeing the fruits of our labor.
It's just got so much history, and it's just such an important part of not just Birmingham, but Alabama.
And it's so beautiful. We don't build beautiful buildings anymore. These movie palaces are treasures that we should keep.